Now, this is going to come straight from one of my favorite websites, and everything is all nice and neat and laid out perfectly. And if you don't know, on Sundays, I like to give veteran shout outs. This is not a veteran-owned business, but it's a veteran-ran site. It's absolutely free. You should check it out. It's veteransbenefitskb.com. I'll leave it below in the pinned comments. But here are conditions that the VA will not rate. So you may not want to waste your time on these. You certainly don't want to be looking at Nexus letters for these conditions, because that would really suck. So real quick, willful misconduct or dishonorable conduct. We're going to go through all of this stuff. Intellectual or personality disorders, not mental health from service. That's different. We look at genetic conditions, and then conditions caused by substance abuse or impulse control, and then finally lab findings. All right. There's so many other things on this website, but right now we're going to focus on what would the VA not rate. So willful misconduct. If a condition is a direct result of willful misconduct or occurred during a period of dishonorable conduct, the VA will not grant service connection, period, point blank. All right. So if you're AWOL or deserter, you're out of luck. If you were driving drunk, which is really bad, you should not do that even now. Attacking a brick wall in a fit of rage, breaking your hand, so just being stupid, having a sword pistol duel on the PT field. Now, some of these are just kind of funny, jokey types, but you see the point that the author of the website is getting at. You have to be of right mind, okay? Important note here, getting hurt while on active duty from playing a sport or something that could be considered an accident is not willful misconduct. So let's say, your platoon PT, for some reason, because you're in the Air Force, you're playing ultimate frisbee or whatever it is that you guys do. You sprain your ankle, you break your ankle, you're good to go. That condition is able to be service connected. You're fine. Don't worry about it. Next, intellectual and personality disorders, not mental health. Okay, this isn't going to be explained here. Are generally considered to be something a person is born with, not something that develops due to service, having a large genetic or hereditary component with negligible environmental factors. So yes, while being a butthole, we don't use bad words, may negatively impact your ability to hold a job in and of itself, that's really hard to read, is not rateable by the VA. Exceptions, okay? Because of this, the VA does not consider these disorders as diseases or injuries for compensation purposes, except when they are the result of another service-connected disability, like a TBI. If the condition got worse due to your service or service-connected condition, aggravation, it can be rated. Aggravation, there's 5 bases of service connection. Aggravation is one. The most common aggravation thing that we see is definitely like flat feet. I had flat feet prior service, although asymptomatic. They caught it at MEPS. You have to show how service made that condition worse. The thing is, that condition is going to get worse anyways. So how did your service drastically impact that condition and truly make it worse? Genetic conditions. These are conditions that you were born with, okay? Examples include male pattern baldness. Listen, if you're wondering why I wear a hat all the time, I got a receding hairline that's reaching back to the Old Testament, all right? I can't claim baldness. It just is what it is. Missing or having extra parts, that's absolutely wild. Personality disorders, poor eyesight. And again, exceptions. There's always exceptions. If the condition manifests during your service after the time period medical science has determined it should have developed, it can be rated. All right. If the condition got worse due to your service, again, aggravation. And then finally, active duty service members who serve at least 8 years applies to DoD med boards only. All right. Now, conditions. I have something going on over here. Let me just come on. We got a guest today. Okay. Last 2 conditions caused by substance abuse or impulse control. Examples include, but not limited to, alcohol abuse, illicit drug usage, tobacco usage, overeating. Exceptions. If the substance abuse is secondary to something like PTSD, it can be rated. And we're looking at, especially for obesity and alcohol abuse, substance disorders, those are solid intermediate steps. That's not what this is talking about. Although, right, while obesity itself cannot be service connected, it could be used as an intermediate step. Although you won't receive a rating for it, you can still have the VA view it as service connected. Therefore, it can be used as like a basis of secondary connection or whatever that looks like for you. The most common thing we see in obesity is actually 2 ratings. One, sleep apnea, overwhelming majority there, and another one's actually hypertension. If you're fat, you probably have high blood pressure, and if you're fat, you probably have sleep apnea. It's not good. Anyways, lab findings. Some diagnosed conditions are considered lab findings by the VA, meaning that they are not an actually disabling condition. These typically are usually detected during routine lab testing, blood work, or as things noticed during other diagnostic tests such as an X-ray or MRI. I'm going to tell you right now, the reason I wanted to, I know. The reason I wanted to show you the website is because when it comes to lab findings, that's real. I'm no expert in that. I'm able to admit it. It's fine. Which is why I'm going to read this verbatim here. I know. Daddy's almost finished. But these conditions themselves have either not become severe enough to manifest into more severe conditions. Common lab finding are fatty liver, prediabetes, both while diagnosed conditions are themselves not disabilities, and as such cannot be given service connection. Important note, even though a lab finding itself cannot get service connection can be granted for conditions the lab finding causes, so long as the lab finding is favorably linked to service. However, it's best practice to simply claim this disability directly. One thing that I do want to share on what the VA does not rate, and this part is absolutely critical, this is something I call let the VA do VA things. Right? If you have a disabling condition, you have a current diagnosis, it's chronic, submit the claim, let the VA do VA things. You don't have to understand the entire 38 CFR and M21 TAC 1 at all, not even a little bit. Our job is to submit claims, legit claims, and upload evidence with those claims. That's it. We do our part, the VA does their part. Happy Sunday, everyone. That's all I got, and thank you very much.